Welcome back to the From the Stands podcast. JC here alongside Jacob. We are recapping week 2 and bringing you week 3 of the 2025 college football season. Hell of a weekend last weekend, Jacob. And I'll tell you what, another good one lined up this week. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. Doing good. Last week was, a lot of people like to say it was a sleeper weekend where there wasn't a whole lot of big games, but it was surely entertaining. I know I had a good weekend. Love watching some football. And I'm ready for week 3. It's kind of sad to say, but I mean, once these teams play their third game, quarter of the season's already gone. So I'm ready for some more football. This week is lining up to be a really good week as well. So let's get into it.
Yeah, no doubt. What a crazy weekend. Had a bunch of weather delays, it seemed like, in the southeast. We were able to get all the games in. Obviously, starting off first with your Clemson Tigers taking on Troy, 33.5-point favorites. Obviously, things were shaky early on going into the second half. 27-16 was the final. The Tigers get it done. Obviously, like freak out mode in the beginning. I kind of was like, they're going to get it together. They'll figure it out. But it seemed like it was tough sledding to get to that point. It is week 2, but you would think after you guys played such a tough opponent week 1, you kind of like over that hump. And honestly, I can say the same thing for my Gamecocks getting started out pretty slow versus SC State. But how worried were you? At one point it was was it 16-3 or I forgot what it was
16-3
where it was like looking a little scary there for a minute. At half, that's
it
right.
was
That's right.
Yep, it was 16-3 at half. So somehow we pull out the 27-16 win. It was like you said with the weather delays. It was a little weird. We played like a drive or two, and Troy came out firing, and I think the weather delay may have kind of helped us. Not from our point of view. That second quarter was still not good for us. But it slowed down Troy because they came out firing. They scored that passing touchdown on the first drive, and I was kind of really worried.
Yep.
Goose Crowder, you called it. That dude with that quarterback with the awesome name. He played pretty well against this good team, supposedly good defense, and but we finally made some halftime adjustments and shut them out in the second half, and our offense finally woke up some. I want to say it's encouraging, but this is still Troy, so there's an asterisk next to all of it. Troy's not Kent State or something, but like it still is. We should be murdering this team 60-3 if we are any like national championship kind of style contender. But it's really not what we do either. So I mean, say what you want to about it, but it was good to see Adam Randall get 100 some yards on the ground. Again, I know it's Troy. It was good to see West Coast still get 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that dude is next level. Again, I get it, Troy. But again, I'll say that second half was maybe a little bit encouraging because we finally got a little bit going. But like I said, it is really worrisome that we're only beating Troy like this. Like I said, the spread for this game was 33.5. We should have, in my mind, easily covered that. And it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, obviously we had the most returning production, and you hope you could bank on that being a good thing, but some of these guys may just be who they are, and that's kind of being shown here. I'm still trying to hold out hope, and we still only had that one loss, and it was still to LSU at home by 1 score. So the season is no means over, but you're starting to get that feeling. It's like, okay, well, it just ain't looking good. We got to get it going again, boys. Like, so this week, which we'll get to later, but this week is a good test to see which way this team's going to go this year.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw the post, and I won't go into all the details because there's quite a lot, but there's some very eerily similar stats between the 2016 national championship team of Clemson when they played Troy that year. Like total yards on both sides of the ball, the score, like kind of like the game flow. Like there's some very weird similarities. So like, you just never know. But obviously, if you guys can overcome that and go on the win and natty, like, it's not over yet. You're still undefeated in conference play because you haven't played yet. But like, again, the conference is wide open. You win the conference, you're, most likely getting into you are going to get into the college football playoff. So like, still a lot to to shoot for. And obviously, like we'll get to that game because you guys do have a huge one to start out conference play. So excited to see that one. Let's move on. South Carolina in South Carolina State. Again, this definitely got affected by the weather. I mean, this game didn't start till about 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. Just rain, and more rain. And speaking of a slow start, that's exactly what happened. I mean, we didn't score a touchdown on offense until the drive to finish the first half. Pretty ugly early on. Now, I mean, the field position thing didn't help us, but it doesn't matter. You're playing an inferior opponent. Like, I don't care if you're backed up inside the own 20 the first few drives. Like, you should be able to move the ball down the field. Um, so, you know, I think we still got some work to do, but what makes me feel better is like the offense is the best part of our team, right? Like Lenore Sellers, one of the best players in college football. Like, I'm not worried about the offense yet. I think there's still some stuff to improve, but when the defense, that's supposed to be the problem, gets a fumble recovery for a touchdown and pretty much shuts them out. I mean, they scored in the fourth quarter with our like third and fourth stringers in, like, so it is what it is. Like when they scored their touchdown, and then obviously the special teams is the talk. I mean, as it should be. It's like I don't think it can be a knock. You say, oh, it's just the special team. Like the offense needs to score. It's like it's kind of a, to me, it shows a complete team if you can go out and if one phase isn't working, the other phase can pick you up. So obviously, Vakari Swain takes a punt return back. What's crazy is like we're doing this and like not getting penalties because that's normally what happens. Like these things get
Yeah.
taken back by blocking the back. So the discipline from the other guys, obviously, like Swain's the difference maker, but like the discipline from the other guys to not absolutely demolish people. Now, I think it was I don't know if it was the first or the second one now. The punter did get demolished and they kept showing it. That was pretty funny. But the second one was a heads up play by Vakari Swain. We actually blocked the punt, then it hit off the South Carolina player. So once it hits off the South Carolina State player. Once it hits off that player and we go to pick it up, it doesn't matter what happened. It's our ball. So once it hits off him, if we go and grab it and then they knock it out, like it doesn't matter because they've already touched it. So heads up play by Vicari to kind of letting the ball stop just about. And the South Carolina State players are kind of just like, it happened quick, so they're not quite standing around, but maybe not paying attention as much. He picks the ball up, breaks a tackle, and then takes it to the house. So to have back-to-back punt returns to the house, and like I don't remember being this excited to watch another team punt in my life. Like I thought they were just gonna kneel it on fourth down, like screw it, or punt it sideways as best you can. But overall, like still a solid 38-10 win. I'll take it. Big game Saturday, so you know what? We got some things to clean up. Beamer was pissed off after the game. He was still pissed off on his press conference on Tuesday. He was still pretty mad at the performance, just not finishing the game well. Your boy Luke Doty got to throw some passes there at the end. So if you didn't see that, that was pretty good. He was spinning it. He tried a deep little post route, but yeah, overall a good one for the Gamecocks. I'll take a 28-point victory when we're not playing our best on offense, and we'll move on to conference play as well. So, got anything on the Gamecocks there, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean nothing big. It was kind of like another rain delay kind of game. It was weird how it happened, but y'all handled business. Like I said, it was never close, never was going to be. But there are, like I said, you can be proud of this defense. It's done a lot better than like we kind of expected, especially me. You still wonder Sellers throwing the ball. You want to make sure that he can kind of get that under control. Um, Obviously with his legs, he's got that well under control, but just want to make sure he protects the ball and can set up for a big year here. So big win for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, I will say, look, no turnovers on offense through 2 games. I'll also take that. We haven't made any. I mean, we fumbled it a couple times, but recovered it. But like,
Right,
we
right,
haven't
right.
thrown any picks yet. We haven't given the other team the ball. So let's see if we can keep that streak rolling into Saturday. All right, moving on. Illinois and Duke. This was a ranked, and they ranked number 11 coming in this game, going to Durham to take on the Blue Devils. 45-19 was the final. This is a 2.5 spread for Illinois, and they absolutely covered that. Luke Altmaier, 22 of 31, almost 300 yards, 3 tuds, no interceptions. They ran for a $120. Darian Mensah had a hell of a stat line too, over 330 yards as well. He threw a pick. But man, Illinois looking good. I mean, I thought this was going to be. I mean, I picked them to cover the spread, but I think going back, I thought it was going to be kind of a tighter game. So shout out to Illinois, proving that they're a, you know, I would say the real deal. I don't think Duke's in any slouch at all. So Illinois might make some noise in the Big Ten. They don't quite have enough to go win it, I don't believe, because there's some top dogs, some big dogs at the top there. But look, a top 5 finish in this conference isn't probably a bad thing. So I didn't get to catch any of this game actually, but just looking at the stat line, pretty good day for Illinois and yeah, Duke and Darien so they still got a long road ahead, and they got some conference play, make some noise too. So, what'd you make of this? Was this any surprise? I forgot who you picked to cover in this game.
Yeah, we actually both picked Illinois. It's just actually a 2.5 point spread, and we both picked them. And
Yep.
the first half was looking like that spread was going to be kind of spot on. It was 14-13. Illinois was winning at halftime. So we're like, okay, this is the game we were all hoping for. Really close game and really fun one to watch. And
Right.
that's where I watched it. And then I actually had to do something Saturday, so I kind of missed most of the second half. But like when I came back to see the score, I was like, holy crap, what happened? It was close. And then all of a sudden, Illinois said, nope, not anymore. It's not. And they scored
Yeah.
31 in the second half compared to 6 for Duke. So halftime adjustments. And Brett Bielema is, I mean, y'all saw it last year in the bowl game. He is a hell of a coach, and he made some pretty good adjustments. And I think Darian Mensah obviously played decent, played pretty well. I wonder how Duke feels paying what was like $4 million or something like crazy to get him. Obviously hoping
Yeah.
they could win this game, but I mean Illinois, like you said, is looking like a really good Big Ten team, and they may have a shot to possibly get to the championship game, but certainly one of those extra teams looking for the final couple playoff spots.
Not to not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this weekend we might have the Florida National Championship coming up, based on what happened this weekend. So, uh, the Florida Gators they go into South Florida, into Tampa to take on the. I'm sorry, I take that back. This is at Gainesville. I
Yeah, but I
apologize.
said it's that
South
Gainesville,
Florida goes into
even worse.
Gainesville, playing the 13th ranked Gators, and they go control the clock at the very end of the game and just don't give the ball back, and they kick a little 5-footer. Um, Game winning field goal right there to beat the old Gators in Gainesville, and they play Miami this weekend, South Florida, like coming off a huge dominating win over the 25th ranked Boise State Broncos. Go into Gainesville, get a huge win, like this, and it's not like crazy things happen. It's not like Florida was fumbling the ball. Lagway threw one pick, but like it wasn't like there was some like freak stuff going on, like South Florida just won the game. I picked them to cover the 17 and a half. Was I expecting them to get the win? Absolutely not. Huge win for South Florida. Again, cannot wait to see what they do this weekend. We'll get to that when they play Miami. But how shocked are you with this South Florida team? I mean, obviously the whole narrative is Billy Napier and Lagway and all that stuff. But just like put that aside, that's like the easy conversation I feel like to have. South Florida needs to get talked about. And again, we'll find out this weekend how real they are. But to me, I mean, 2-0, two ranked opponents to start the year, hell of a start.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. 2 ranked wins already, and nobody had this on their radar with Boise and going to Gainesville, especially with the expectation that Florida had. I guess the only excuse
Right.
for Florida is this was a big look ahead game because they have, I don't know, the whole NFL rosters to play the rest of the schedule. Their schedule is brutal. But I mean, yeah, South Florida, man, Florida should not have overlooked him. I'll tell you that. Byron Brown like basically outplayed DJ Lagway. I mean, Lagway didn't have the worst day, but he didn't have the greatest day. And
Right.
Byron Brown played very, very well and just enough to kind of get by here. And I really wonder what this does to Billy Napier because this was, I mean, Florida had some pretty big objectives this year to make the playoffs and possibly fight for a national championship. And with this schedule, we were thinking, hey, this is one of those teams that maybe can afford 3 losses and still possibly get in because they play everybody. It feels like, and but not with this loss. This loss, unless South Florida continue, like we were talking about, goes and gives Miami a hell of a game, or even beats Miami, then hey,
Yeah.
this may be one of their better losses. But like, I just don't see South Florida continuing this run the whole year. So this is going to end up being probably a bad loss, and I don't know if Florida can afford now to lose 2 more games and if they don't make the playoffs, I mean, does Billy Napier stay? I mean, he finally got his guy DJ Lagway, and it just hadn't worked out. So I know it's really early in the season to start talking about something like that, but still, this is probably how Florida Gator fans feel.
Yeah, I mean it's getting loud there in Gainesville. That's for sure. Calling for his job. I mean, I'm glad they didn't do it last year. I thought that they had the injury. Then Lagway comes in, he gets hurt. Like you're playing the toughest schedule in the nation. Both your quarterbacks are hurt. Like I'm glad they stuck with him. I feel like just people cut the cord way too quick nowadays. Like, let's develop this culture. But I will say it's going to be very tough if they have like a 6-6 year this year. Again, it's not over. They're one
Yeah.
and one. They're going to start conference play, but like the schedule's not getting any easier. So like you need to take all you can get. And it just hasn't happened. So, um, yeah, again, it's just something they're gonna have to get over, and they're gonna have to get over real quick. All right, moving on. College game day in Norman, Oklahoma. The Michigan Wolverines traveling to Oklahoma. Man, this one surprised me. I didn't get to catch the entire end of the game, but the way Oklahoma was hitting early, man, they just looked like a different team. This was like the Will Venables defense that we know of, like reminiscent of the Clemson days, right? When you guys are winning national championship. Like this was a tough, gritty OU team. I tell you what, and I think I said it. I don't know if I said it last episode or I said the beginning of the year. The whole John Mateer talk kept putting him in these conversations. I was like, look, it's not that I don't like the kid. It's just I haven't seen him play. They were hyping him up a lot. Hey, prove it to me. I tell you what, this kid can ball. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is tough to bring down, tough on his feet. He's making the right throws. Like, is he Bryce Underwood? No, I mean, that dude's a freak of nature, can absolutely sling the ball, but they don't really have a lot of guys to throw to right now. The running game, not as great. Tell you what, this Oklahoma team, a tough out in the SEC. 24-13 was the final, a double-digit win. Venables seemingly getting off the hot seat, letting Napier slide into that position, and let's let all the Oklahoma fans forget about Lincoln Riley here for a minute and let Venables kind of bring this team back to what they know they can be. But how shocked were you at this result? I picked Michigan actually to cover the 2.5. I just, again, not trusting Venables at Oklahoma yet. I know it's going to take more than just one game, but like, tell you what, I mean, to me this was huge for that program.
Oh yeah, it was huge because I mean the projections were one thing, but to go out there and actually do it is another thing. And yeah, I'm not exactly surprised at this because I mean I did kind of foresee this coming, and it's I don't want to say it's unfair because Bryce Underwood, when you get paid that amount of money and you had this kind of hype, you're expected to be that next guy. But
Right.
I did think, hey, going to Norman, and you're still a freshman. I think Bryce is like just turned 18 or something like that. And the world on his shoulders, kind of thing. That's kind of unfair, even though you are that level of a recruit. And I kind of thought that would happen in this game. They still didn't get blown out. I mean, they still stuck around. It was only
Right.
an 11-point game. So, I mean,
Right.
kudos to that, I guess. But Underwood only completed 9 passes. He had like a 40 QBR. I mean, just wasn't that next level recruit. And again, we shouldn't. I personally and wasn't expecting that this game. It's his second game overall ever in
Right.
college, and it's at Norman. Like game day was here. Like he's going to be okay. Michigan's going to be okay. John Mateer, who's been in college and like
Yeah.
you said, that played really well, almost played at a Heisman level last year. Like this was his spot, and he announced himself nationally here and prove what everybody was kind of previewing in the preseason. So I wasn't too surprised by this, but hey, like you said, Oklahoma 2-0 in the SEC or 2-0 at home, 2-0 just overall, and like get into the SEC schedule soon. Like, hey, this is a really good start for them. This is exactly what they needed. And hey, maybe like you said, maybe they don't fire Venables now or something. We'll have to see because they still have a long season to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Moving on to a rivalry game already taking place in week 2. Iowa State hosting the Iowa Hawkeyes. Jacob, question for you. You travel I-95 a good bit, I would say. What's the speed limit on I-95 on average?
Legally 70. Real life, probably like 90.
70. What are most people going on 95? Would you say? What are people traveling? What's their speed?
Average, probably 80.
80. 80. How about 83? 83 sound good?
Sounds good to me.
83, because that's how many passing yards Iowa had versus Iowa State, right at 83. I mean, and this wasn't they had 300 yards of rushing, so like that averages out. Not the case. Only ran for 130. But Iowa State only wins 16-13. This one particularly bothered me because the spread was 3.5, and I was like so confident in Iowa State winning this game, which is what happened. But Iowa State obviously did not cover. Curious, who did you pick in this game? Did you pick Iowa or Iowa State?
We both picked Iowa State to cover the 3.5. and we lost by that half point.
All right.
So yes.
I don't I don't feel as bad now, I guess, but man, what a game, what a rivalry, 16-13. What do you make? I mean, can this Iowa team like we're back at it. I mean, they can't throw the ball or they won't
Nope.
throw the ball. A little bit of both, you know.
Yeah, no, that this is Iowa being Iowa, and we thought, hey, New Year, we'll give them one more shot, see if they can change anything. They finally got a quote decent quarterback in Mark Gronowski, and he wasn't able to do it. 13 to 24, 83 yards, 3.5 yard average. That pick, 29 QBR, like that. That's it. Iowa. It's just Iowa. Kurt Ferentz is just going to stay there as long as. I mean, will we see him stay there as long as freaking? We were just talking before the pod about Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. Is he going to stay there as long as he wants to because he's built the program the way it is, and they're just going to let him go and go and go and go until it's just like, okay, he wants to leave, or are they going to actually say, hey, you cannot coach offense, so we're going to get rid of you. I mean, that's what it's going to take. So
No, man, I
yeah,
think at this point, like that's the brand. That's Iowa football. You know,
yeah, for the brand punts, baby.
run the ball. Yeah, well, a lot
Yeah,
of those, a lot of
yeah,
a lot of those. All right, well let's flip it to a game that had almost 700 yards of passing. Baylor SMU. Baylor traveling to Dallas to take on the Mustangs there. 48-45 was the final. Double overtime. Baylor takes the win. Sawyer Robertson, 34-50, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Throws in runs for another 20 on the ground. Holy cow, the Baylor Bears. Coming off the first loss to Auburn, which they only scored 24 points, maybe a little lackluster for their offense. Come in and beat an SMU team, 2.5-point favorites. I took the Mustangs. I trust Kevin Jennings in that team, and just couldn't get it done. I mean, he had a great stat line too, but this one did surprise me. No Baylor Bears maybe looking again looking maybe like the teams back in 11, 12, 13 when RG3 was winning Heisman's out there.
yeah. We knew Baylor was going to be decent going in this year. They finished last year, winning the last 6 games of the year, and Sawyer Robertson kind of made the national scene then. And obviously they played Auburn this year and lost 38-24. Kind of kept it, competitive in the for that game for the most part till the very end. But I mean, yeah, Baylor
Yeah.
kept this game competitive, and we thought, hey, this is going to be a really good game. The spread was 2.5 for SMU, and one of those field goal spreads that we're going to lose here. We both had SMU covering that, and anything could have happened. I mean, hell, I
Yep.
don't want to call the guy out, but Colin Rogers, the SMU kicker, he was 1 for 3 on field goals. I mean, just those two, and they win by 3. And then look at there. But it went to that double overtime, and SMU had the ball in that first in that second overtime, and they missed again. Colin Rogers missed that field goal, so all Baylor had to do was make their field goal, and they won. So this game, this is one of those where they play 10 times, they could split it 5-5. This would be a really fun game to watch again and again and again. So I mean, we'll have to see
Yep.
what Baylor can do from here, and what SMU they can pick their heads up, because they shouldn't hold their heads low because of this game. This was a back and forth fun game to watch. So maybe the defenses have some work, but honestly, dude, Sawyer Robinson, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the nation. I mean, I really like the way he plays, throwing for 440. Like, daggum, this was a good showing for him.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Like I'd say one of the more exciting players. I'm trying to what year is he? I don't remember off the top of my head.
That
I
is
should be
a good
pulling up
question.
here. Oh, he's a senior. So
Okay.
that makes sense. But I mean, you through 2 games, he's thrown for 859 yards and 7 tuds. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I
Kind
mean, if Baylor can kind of stick up there in the Big 12, slight Heisman dark horse, maybe with those kind of stats, if he puts that up
yeah,
every week.
no doubt, no doubt. All right. Well, before we move on to this weekend's games, Jacob, why don't you give us the total for our picks up until this point, weeks 1 and week 2? What do we get this week, and then what's our total altogether so far?
I got you. So, we had 6 or 7 games to pick from. So this week I went 3-4, and you went 4-3. So that brings our total through 2 weeks. JC, you are in the lead, tied 7-7, and I am second at 5-9. So, neither one of us too great, but hey, you're at least 500, and you said that, hey, that's your goal at the very least. So, still got a long way to go though.
Yeah, very least is to be 500. Obviously, like I have higher aspirations, but like on the minimum, let me get to 500. So,
Yes,
all right,
sir.
well we're gonna jump into our picks for the next week. Before we do that, shout out to our sponsor, East Coast Golf. Go to eastcoastgolf.us, sign up via email, get 10% off your first order. Premium hats, apparel, everything you need to go golfing. eastcoastgolf.us. All right, moving on. Here we go. Week 3 of college football. I appreciate Jacob there with the sticker. We are going to start out number 3 LSU hosting the Florida Gators, a 7:30 kick on ABC. The LSU Tigers open up as 7.5-point favorites. Jacob, I will start this. I am going to go LSU. I don't like the 7.5. I wish it was like 6.5, to be honest, because I think a 7-point game. Like I know Florida came off that loss. This is going to be LSU's toughest test since Clemson. I just think Florida is maybe a little bit better than they showed. Not that I fully put trust in them, but um, I tell you what, this is going to be a rocking environment. Cannot wait to watch this game. But I am going to take LSU minus the 7.5. Not super confident, but give me the Tigers.
I got you. I don't want to say I have more confidence than what you just kind of showed, but I am confident to say that LSU will win. The spread I'm not 100% sure on because I don't know what Florida team we're going to get, especially night game, at LSU. They
Right.
this is one of the hardest places to play for anybody, and we just saw Florida go to Oklahoma, which is crazy I'm sorry, Michigan went to Oklahoma. I'm sorry, Florida lose at home, and if they can't beat a South Florida team at home, how are they going to turn around the next week and go to LSU and beat Garrett Nussmeier and the boys? So, I mean,
Right.
just that one score, give me LSU, especially how good this defense for LSU has so far looked to be. I don't see how Florida's going to score over 20. LSU's probably going to score in the 30s. So give me LSU minus 7.5.
I like it. I like it. All right, we'll stay the same on that one. All right, here we go. The Florida National Championship taking place this Saturday. Number 5, Miami hosting the South Florida Bulls. Hurricanes 17.5-point favorites. This is a 4:30 kick on the CW network, so we'll have about 6 viewers. I probably will be one of them though. 17.5-point favorites for the Hurricanes. I mean, am I mistaken? Was this not exact the spread of the Florida South Florida game? Am I tripping? Yeah, 17. Come on, man. You can't. Vegas knows what they're doing. You can't do 17.5-point dogs back-to-back weeks versus teams in Florida. Give me South Florida all day. It's not even a question. They're ranked in the top 25. I why can't they win the game? Why can't they win the game? I don't care if they do
I'm
though.
not kidding.
But cover the 17, cover the 17 and a half. They got to. You can't. That's too crazy, dude. Give it to me. That's
Yeah.
easy. This is the easiest pick of the week.
No, I 100% agree. I don't know how they don't at least cover that. I could see you could easily talk me into how they don't win it because how could you turn around and beat Boise and then beat Florida at Florida and then turn around and beat Miami at Miami? That's a hell of a like Clemson, Alabama. Some of these they I don't know if they could do that. You know what I'm saying? And like South Florida's coming out of
Not
nowhere and
not
doing
this
that.
year. Not 2025.
No, sir, you're right. So I mean, I don't know if 100% if I believe South Florida's going to win the game outright, but you give me a 17.5 point buffer. Give me South Florida Bulls to cover that. Now, for is the game itself, Byron Brown, they're obviously Miami's defense is pretty good this year, and they're going to focus on shutting him down. And if that happens,
Right.
I don't know because Carson Beck is at least in that first couple of games has played really really well. Now he's known to have
Yeah.
a stinker every now and again and just throw 4 picks in a game, but we haven't seen that out of him yet in Miami. So maybe this is that game, and then maybe South Florida wins it outright. But we'll have to see. And too many points for me to not take South Florida to cover.
Yeah, good decision on that one. All right. This one I'm going to flip to you to make your pick first. Number 6, Georgia, traveling in Knoxville, Tennessee, taking on the 15th ranked Volunteers. College game day will be here. 3:30 kick on ABC. The Bulldogs are 3.5-point favorites. Joey Aguilar, Gunnar Stockton. Jacob, who you got?
So we go from Carson Beck and Nico Amaliava to these two.
What
This is
what
not the
how
quarter.
the turntables, If you know the
Well
reference, you got
said.
it. If not, you
Well
don't.
said. Um, Yeah, the money has gone Tennessee's way because this opened as a 6.5 point for Georgia
Really?
to be favored. So money's gone Tennessee's way, and uh, I, you're going to give me less points than Georgia has to cover. I've been bitten on how many 3.5 point things in the past week or so. So this is going to suck, but
Yeah.
I'm going to take Georgia to win and cover the 3.5.
Mm,
I just don't know. Tennessee obviously is a really good team, but I just don't know if Joey Aguilar is that guy that can carry them past a really good team yet. And obviously Georgia always like top three and just recruiting and just having the best players. And I mean, come on, Kirby Smart. You can't. I mean, that's the new Nick Saban right now. That's the most consistent thing it feels like now. Georgia quote took a
right.
step back last year, but Georgia so far has been able to run the ball this year, and I don't know if Tennessee will be able to keep up with Georgia. Just because of how I think Georgia's going to dominate on the offensive line and just be able to run the ball and give me one score. That's all they got to cover. Like, okay, I'll take Georgia minus 3.5. And plus, I mean, Tennessee hasn't beaten Georgia since 2016 either. I hate to say it, but that's the honest truth. So I think it's been 8 games in a row now. So I don't see Tennessee doing that here either. So give me Georgia minus 3.5.
This is a good time to do it. I will say, I wish this was a night game in Knoxville. I think I would definitely lean Tennessee's way. I'm so glad you picked Georgia though. Struggled last week versus Austin Peay. Like not great. It's not indicative of like a bad team because on the other side you got Tennessee who just dropped 70 bomb on whoever they played. Like that's not necessarily indicative either. I will say though,
Right.
Gunnar Stockton, I think he's a good quarterback. Got recruited to South Carolina, so I've kind of followed him a little bit. Still, this is going to be his. Well, I guess he started a little bit when Beck got hurt last year. His like third start as the team guy going into a super hostile environment. Joey Aguilar has looked like a veteran so far for the Vols. They definitely got the better in the Nico Maliava trade, if you will, because he's 0-2. They haven't won a game in UCLA. That guy can't. I mean, I don't know what's going on out there, but that's not what this conversation's for. I'm glad you picked
Yep.
Georgia, though, because I'm going Tennessee and the 3.5. I think that Aguilar is going to outplay Gunnar Stockton. I know they don't play on the same team, but it's always quarterback v. quarterback. You're right. Georgia should win. Better roster. Something weird's going on in Knoxville this weekend. I like Joey Aguilar, how he's playing. Give me the Vols and the 3.5. Pull the upset and just cause some more shakeup early in the year. Like, why not? Why not do it right now?
I respect it.
All right, moving on. I think one of the tougher games to pick, at least for me personally. Number 8, Notre Dame hosting the Texas A&M Aggies. This is a 7:30 kick on NBC or Peacock. Notre Dame 6.5-point favorites. Marcel Reed at the other side. He's going to be a problem. Can Notre Dame get the run game going? Jeremiah Love. Can CJ Carr prove that he is the guy? I think he is. It is a home game, but man, do I trust Notre Dame's offense? I don't know. That's why, Jacob, you're making this pick first. I actually do have my pick made. So I can't believe I picked
Okay,
them.
so you
Okay.
can't change it based on what I say. All
I
right.
can't
Good. Okay,
I can't
good.
change it. There's only one I haven't circled. There's two I haven't circled yet on my page, and that's Clemson, Georgia Tech, and Ole Miss, Arkansas. And those are the last two we're picking. Still thinking
Okay,
about
fair
those
enough.
in real time. Jacob, what's your pick though? Notre Dame 6.5-point spread over the Aggies.
I got you. Yeah, this is one of the hardest ones to pick. Obviously, this being at Notre Dame, it's kind of weird because Notre Dame's only played one game. They had a bye last week because they played Miami week 1, lost to them, and they, like I said, CJ Carr played okay. Still his first game, but they have a bye, and A&M's 2-0. Granted, against you know I forgot who they play so far this year. They're only 2-0 against what like some crazy good teams. It was Utah State and then UTSA. So like,
No,
eh, I'm not too impressed by those. But I will say Marcel Reed has looked the part so far. Again, I understand who it was against, but he's put up the stats. He's looked the part so far, and I think this A&M team is pretty solid all around. They get to be within a field goal, and I still get them like 6.5. Like I'm not 100% sold on this Notre Dame team yet. I know Jeremiah Love's probably one of the best running backs in the country, and they're going to lean on him heavily. But I think this Marcel Reed is very mobile, going to be super hard to keep in the pocket, and will be able to kind of be dynamic with his legs and keep this a very close game. I understand it's a night game at Notre Dame, which is always hard to go in there and try to catch a win. But A&M, I think, is doing pretty good this year. So I'm going to pick them to cover the 6.5.
I mean, not to have a total cop out. Like I'm agreeing with you based on everything you said. Like I think Marcel Reed just causes enough problems. Like Beck caused problems for Notre Dame mainly because he was seasoned. He made the right decisions. Marcel Reed's going to cause problems because like when things break down, when Notre Dame thinks they got guys beat, he gets out of the pocket. He'll beat you with his legs, and or then
Yep.
now there's a breakdown in the secondary. He's going to find some guys, right? Like he made a lot of good plays last year. We got to see him live playing South Carolina. That first half was 20-20, and that dude's a problem to stop. So I'm with you. I'm going to take A&M minus the six and plus the 6.5, I guess. Not super confident they'll pull out the win. I think I'm kind of giving Notre Dame the nod at home, but like again, kind of what happened early last year is like Notre Dame's offense is like, what are they going to be, right? So like they got to get
Yep.
this run game going, got to control the clock, let the run game develop so CJ Carr can have that play action, take a little bit of pressure off of his plate as a young quarterback. But yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Aggies and the points. All right, big game Saturday. Number 11, South Carolina hosting Vanderbilt. This is a 7:45 kick on the SEC network. South Carolina, 4.5-point favorites. Let me just say there's a couple of things. Some videos have come out, resurfaced. Diego Pavia busting with the boys. Says he's got South Carolina circled in week 3. Some O lineman today at Vandy. They asked him about Dylan Stewart. He said he's whatever. They got Theo Vaughn. That's my guy. I show speed. They got those guys hanging out in Vandy today, making comments and all this stuff. So this is Vandy's Super Bowl. Obviously, it seems like you start bringing celebs out. Like we got something going on. What I don't like is there's a 16-game win streak that people keep talking about. I don't know why they're talking about it because it's Vanderbilt. But on the other side of that, this is the best Vanderbilt team in that 16-year period. The thing that gives me a little bit of hope is that last year, Vandy was coming off what they were doing, and I think we beat them like 24-7. Look, they're coming to a hostile environment in Willie B. They haven't played in this environment yet this year. I understand Pavi is a guy. I do like him. I like his style of play. Eli Stowers is going to be probably a first-round draft pick at that tight end position. They've added weapons in the transfer portal. Obviously, I'm biased. I don't think it's enough. Like, good luck stopping Lenore Sellers. We have a point to prove. Like, I'm just saying. I don't see it happening because to me, Vandy's still Vandy. Not really. They are better, but 4.5 at home versus the Commodores. Like, I think we're pretty ticked off the way the South Carolina State went. You know, I don't know. I just think that it's gonna be a double-digit win. We're gonna shut down the Vandy haters, or not the Vandy haters, the Vandy supporters, I guess, and get the dub there in Columbia. Wish you could go. This will show you how much things are changing. Tickets are like a couple $100 still versus Vandy, which is
Yeah.
wild. This should only be like $6 and a lollipop get you into the stadium, and
Yeah.
not this time. So 4.5 points for the Gamecocks. I'm taking that all the way. Jacob, where are you leaning on this one?
You are gonna hate me. I think y'all win outright, but I
Don't
know
do
the
this,
spread is.
bro. Because I'm gonna switch my
I
next pick if you do this. I'm gonna pick. I've already started. I'll switch it right now.
Oh gosh.
I might do
No,
it out of
I
spite.
that's fine. Go ahead. We need something to put on a wall in our locker room to get us motivated. I swear, do
Don't
it, please.
don't do it.
But I think y'all win the game outright. But after seeing Vandy with a common opponent, and I figure I'm surprised you didn't say this, but y'all both have played Virginia Tech already. Y'all both are 2-0, but you both played them, both beat them. Y'all played them in a neutral site, but they played them at Virginia Tech and in Blacksburg, and they put 30, I think it was 36 on them in the second half alone. And they won the game 44-20. Talking about the Vanderbilt is who I was talking about, and Diego Pavia. That came out of, I won't say nowhere, because Pavia is, he can do that at any time, but that's a common opponent, and y'all did it on a neutral site, and you only won 24-11. You get it, first game of the year, blah blah blah. You can say all that, but I was talking about South Carolina, how explosive their offense should be, and I haven't exactly seen that yet. Besides that one, Sellers to Harbor, explosive pass that happened. So at Virginia Tech, like I mentioned in that game, y'all needed a special teams and that one explosive play to win that game. And Vandy just looks explosive in that second half against Virginia Tech. So I still think y'all win the game outright, and it'd be a good win for you. The one thing that worries me is I did not know this game was a 7:45 kick. which worries me for Vanderbilt, and it worries me with my pick. But after seeing Diego Pavia and the way they scored so many points very quickly in that last game, like it's going to be hard for me not to take Vandy plus 4.5. Sorry about it.
Yeah, I mean, my only rebuttal to that would be Vatek brought in like 40 new players, had 2 new coordinators. We didn't have a lot of film on them. Now all of a sudden Vandy gets this film. But even with that, it's hard to score 34.5 versus a team and not let them score it. And I think Vatek had like 10 plays in the second half or maybe the third quarter. So pretty impressive. You're right. I mean, that's gotta to me, that's gotta motivate us. Like, hey man, they're talking about Vandy like this. They just did this, and like you said, in Plattsburgh, which is not an easy place to play either. So the boys got to come out ready to play. Like we can't come out flat. Like I feel like we did, for South Carolina State. We got to go down and score the football. All right, 2 more games to cover. We will wrap up week 3. Number 12, Clemson traveling to Georgia Tech. Noon kick on ESPN. Excuse me. Tigers 2.5-point favorites. I should flip this because of you, but I won't. I'm taking the Tigers at 2.5, and honestly, I'm not confident. This is why. Because it kind of goes back to what you said. You guys have a lot of guys returning, but if the guys returning are just who they are and are not improving that like 20-ish% that we expect, or whatever the case may be, over a given year period, then what are we doing? It's the same old, same old. Haynes King is a problem, a big problem. Now, what does he have around him? TBD. Obviously, an away game isn't easy. Not that it's super far from Clemson, just a couple hours away. Clemson to Atlanta. I do think you guys get the win. I think this is a very close game. I think it is like that's why I almost want to go Georgia Tech because I feel like, hey, this might be a 3-point game, like a field goal near the end or something like that. You guys go down, kick a field goal, then you guys stop them because I still think your defense is superior than most teams in the conference, let alone the entire country. So I am going to take Clemson, but prove it to me. Don't do the Troy thing. Don't come out like we got to do better, and we also got to rely more on like that. I think it was maybe the second touchdown you guys scored versus Troy. Klubnik gets hit and just kind of throws the ball up in the end zone. Now
Yeah.
it dropped in a bucket to your Clemson player, but like a little bit of luck may be involved too. Like I don't know if you can get away with that with the Georgia Tech type opponent. So like there's a few things I think you got to clean up. But this is the week to do it. This is the week to silence the haters. Hopefully Dabo's not booing on your sideline with the fans. Like we gotta have a solid performance for Georgia Tech, shut down the haters, get back on track, go win this conference, make it to the playoffs. But yeah, 2.5, close game. I'll take the Tigers.
Yeah, I appreciate you not switching on that, but yeah, because almost basically like you said, a pick 'em. So I in a straight up pick 'em, it's kind of hard not to pick the Tigers. Hopefully, I can get away with that. But cause this is the game, even if we'd have dominated, last week and like the whole entire game, and then actually beat LSU, we're sitting here 2-0, still like probably third or second in the country. I would still be worried about this game. Because Haynes King, like you said, is a problem. Like I've said plenty of times before, he's been in
Yep.
college probably since I got out of high school. So he's been there, done that, and he's got the experience. And this is a home game for Georgia Tech. So, but yeah, you add on the fact that we lost one and we did not look good at Troy. Like it really is nerve wracking going into Georgia Tech of all places. And this game is really looking like it's going to be a good one to watch. Yeah, we opened up at 6.5, and all the money is poured on Georgia Tech, so that's why it's down to 2.5. But hey, I'll take it for Clemson to cover that. It's an easier number for me, at least to take Clemson. But as far as my team, man, I just want to see, like you said, no turnovers. We can't get away with just Klubnik just throwing the ball up and just seeing what happens. I'd like to see us get to really running the ball. How about that? Like I know we got Adam Randall as previous wide receiver and stuff but hey, let's run the ball 45 times this game. I'd love to see that get, easy throws for Klubnik to kind of start this game off, limit turnovers, do not fumble the ball, and just dominate like we should be doing. This defense should shut down. I mean, I'll be okay with giving Georgia Tech 17 points. This offense with Garrett Riley is like his third or fourth year, and Cade and all the returning talent we got, this offense should easily score in the 30s. hopefully in the 40s, and our defense should
Yeah.
hold them to 20 or under, and that should be the ball game right there. But yeah, I just want to see this team just straight up dominate, because this is the first ACC game, like you said. What has already happened for the Clemson Tigers, everybody's going ahead and just throwing us out to the side, saying this team is just what it is. It's not going to be any good. But this is where you flip the script and say, hey, this is where our season starts. ACC, win this thing, get hot at the end of the year, prove everybody wrong. That's what we wanted to do coming into this year. And I'm not going to bail on my Tigers after 2 games and everything. So I'm going to take them to cover this and cover it by 10 or 20 maybe, and start this year off on a better foot than we have. So give me the Tigers minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like it. I like the analysis. I think that's kind of like what every fan wants, especially again, you come into the season with like these high expectations, like you kind of expect to see something, and like you still got to play it on the field, and it doesn't always look pretty. Again, we're only 2 weeks in, so this third week again, starting conference play, we're gonna really start seeing like who's real and who's not. All right, last game we're gonna cover number 17, Ole Miss hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks. Both teams are 2-0. 6 o'clock kick on ESPN. Ole Miss 7.5-point favorites. I'll make it quick. I think this Ole Miss team is good. I think they're solid. They're not what they were last year. They don't have Jackson Dart at the helm. I don't know how far this team can go. This Arkansas team, again, 2-0. They've played 2 inferior opponents. So Sam Pittman, I think, also coaching for his job, but I can't remember if it's Talon Green or Tylen Green. I think it's Talon Green.
Taylor.
He has a problem at the quarterback position. At Arkansas, really mobile guy. He just has to stay healthy. He got hurt in a few games last year, missed some time. So I think Arkansas is going to be pretty solid. I think the guys out there like Sam Pittman. I really like him as a coach. Ole Miss ended up pulling it out versus Kentucky last week. I think Ole Miss does cover here. I think it's an 8 to 10 point game, so the 7.5 I'm fine with. Give me the Ole Miss Rebels 7.5. I don't like that. I'm not a Lane Kiffin guy. I just don't think they are what they were last year, really at the quarterback and some other skill positions that they may be lacking this year. But give me the Rebels until Arkansas proves me otherwise. I'm gonna stick with the at least the team I know that is like driven for offense, which is this Lane Kiffin team. So even if they're not quite what they were last year, still pretty damn good on offense, especially for this Arkansas team. So give me the Rebels and the 7.5.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna have to differ with you here just for a little bit. I know Arkansas hasn't played, crazy good competition yet, but like you said, Sam Pittman is kind of coaching for his job. We said that last year as well. But I'm just not sold on this Ole Miss squad. I feel like they lost a lot from last year's team, and especially when you lose a lot, you're kind of beginning of the year, you're trying to figure it all out. And granted, they're 2-0, but like I said, they haven't played anybody. So they played Kentucky last week, and I don't know if you want to call that anybody. I know the SEC homers would say, "Hey, it's better than playing Kent State or something," and I keep hitting Kent State. But
Yeah, you're
anyway,
killing Kent State there, buddy.
yeah, I am. I really am. But Austin Simmons, the quarterback for Ole Miss, he's throwing more picks than he has touchdowns. And I just know what I'm getting from Taylor Green. I mean, the dude's already got 10 touchdowns and 2 picks only, and he ran for over 100 yards last week. Again, I understand the
Yeah.
competition, but the dude's electric. We saw that last year. Early in this year, obviously, most of the team is still healthy, and I think that was part of the reason why Arkansas fell off last year. I think they dealt with some injuries, and Taylor Green got beat
Right.
up. So I obviously everybody healthy right now. This is a sleeper pick for a full on upset, but you're giving me 7.5, and I can still pick Arkansas like to stay in that, and I'm going to take that. So give me Arkansas plus 7.5.
Nice. I like it. All right. Well, 7 big games that we'll obviously be paying close attention to as we keep track of our winners against the spread throughout the entire year. Jacob, I enjoyed it. Can't wait. A big weekend for both of us. A lot of teams are starting conference play. Um, you know, there's a lot of filler games that are kind of lacking competition, but I think the way the schedule's set up this weekend, there's going to be a really good game at noon, a really good game at 3:30, and some really good games at night. So I think it's going to be spread out just perfect for all you college football fans. You will get your fix all day. You won't be sitting there watching a 7-2-0 blowout and waiting for the next big one. Like from noon until about 10, 11 p.m., you're going to be locked in. So can't wait. Jacob, I enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir. I will say, hey, I'm sorry, Kent State. I'm going to pick y'all to cover the 22.5 against Buffalo. Y'all got them at home this week, so I'm going to cheer on for Kent State after completely crushing them twice. But hell yeah, boys. Let's have a good weekend. Enjoy some good football, some good food, and some family and some friends. And everybody have a good weekend.
Hell yeah, not on our pick. I'm gonna take Buffalo just because I don't know anything about either of these teams. So we'll go the opposite. Maybe get a tiebreaker.
No, Kent State. Come on, man. All right. Y'all have a good one.
We'll see. We'll see. Good luck, Golden Flashes. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.